Hello and welcome to Weston Nurseries in Lincoln. I'm here on this occasion to talk to you about July perennials, ones that love this heat, that are doing their thing and have taken over the baton from those that were wonderful in June. My name's Catherine Cooper. I have here a selection, some of which are particular favourites of mine, and I hope that you find inspiration in what I've got to talk to you. This selection is shade lovers, and we have a variety of textures here. Texture is the main thing that we usually have with shade perennials. Flowers are not normally the most vibrant thing, although there are exceptions. So taking a look at what we have here, the first thing down here is Astilbe. Now Astilbe has been doing its thing for several weeks. You can get a long succession of different varieties of Astilbe. This particular one is Colour Flash. It's on the taller side with a nice bright pale pink flower and green foliage, which is common for most of them, although this one, Dark Side of the Moon, proves that you can have foliage colour and flowers. Although it's not in bloom, it does have pink flowers, a little bit darker to this one. Now the nice thing about the foliage here is it contrasts wonderfully with a couple of other coloured plants. One is a hosta down there, that is Design Jeans, a new one on me, but it is about to open out with these beautiful little purple flowers. Most of them are more of the lilac shades of these ones, or white, but its foliage is that wonderful chartreuse green, the same as this plant here, Aralia Sun King. Now this one's a little baby. I have this growing in my yard and it's 4 feet tall and wide. It is a wonderful, colourful splash for shady corners, and look how well they set off each other there. I am influenced by certain plants. I love gold and purple as a combination together, and this plant has done wonderfully for me. Going on with the hosta theme, just to show how many different varieties they come in, I've just grabbed two that caught my eye. I could have grabbed many, many more, but we have here a little one called Shadowland Autumn Frost, and the last one is Fortunae Oreo Marginata, so golden edge basically. And hosta are gorgeous. You cannot find a much better long season shade loving plant for New England gardens. Just to finish off with our shade lovers section here, gives the contrast a favourite shade loving grass of mine. You can tell because I'm there fluffing its foliage. Hacknone grass. It doesn't grow exceptionally tall, you know, about 15 inches at most, but it has this beautiful fountain effect, and it's great along the edge of pathways, gentle billowing grass that will hold up through the fall, so giving you texture and different colours of foliage throughout the season. Yes, they can all take shade, they can all take some part sun. This one particular, the Aralia Sun King, it cannot take full sun. The foliage will start to scorch, it will bleach and look really crispy and horrible. Mine grows in partial sun. It probably gets hit by some sun up to no later than 2 in the afternoon from first thing in the morning. It's on the east side of my house, so once the sun swings round, the house shades it from the really strong sun. And the same would apply to all of these. They certainly can take some sun, but not to sit out and bake all day. Hopefully this has given you some idea of the types of things that we have here at our various Western nurseries for shade. And I will be moving on momentarily to our sun lovers. So here we are in a different part of the nursery with our sun perennials. So these are my choice for things that are doing well at this time of year, looking really colourful and a little bit interesting. But here I've got some things that you will be familiar with, and maybe one or two that is just a little bit different. So I'm going to start over here. I'm standing behind a Phlox, This is a garden phlox, a tall one, and it is, as most people expect for garden phlox, with the big heads of lots of multiple little flowers. Yes, this one is scented. They tend to smell a little bit more at night. And standing next to it, which has yet to come into bloom, but I wanted to include it because this is a native phlox. This is Jeana. Again, it's another tall phlox, was discovered growing outside Nashville by Jeana Pruitt, after whom it's named. And this one has lots of beautiful little head flowers of dark pink. They're smaller than these, but what they lack in size, they make up for in number. It really is a stunning native perennial. So care for those is fairly easy. They like an average amount of moisture, full sun, and with those conditions, they're really quite happy. Moving on, we have a cultivar, a nativar, Veronicastrum. This one is called Fascination. Its common name is Culver's root, and it has beautiful spikes of lavender flowers. So while I am supporting it with my hand at the moment, because they are growing in tiny little pots and that they need some help just to hold themselves up. When they actually grow in your garden, they will generally do fine. They don't usually need support. So Veronicastrum needs, again, an average amount of moisture, but usually natives, once they're established, they do pretty well. The last one here is a coneflower. We're moving into coneflower season. So yes, you will see the regular gold storm everywhere, but I just wanted to highlight a favorite of mine. This is Rebecca maxima. Giant coneflower is one of its common names. And it has these beautiful blue-gray, leathery, drought-resistant leaves. Any plant usually that grows in full sun with leaves like this means it can tolerate a fair bit of dryness. And the nice thing about it, it is not dense. You don't have to plant this at the back of the border to be able to still appreciate everything that's growing around. It's what I call a see-through plant. So it's really tall. Bees love it, and so do the finches when the seeds ripen in the fall. So that is one that you can use to show off other plants, to make a focal point in the middle of a bed, even a bit towards the front. But it's one of my favorites of the coneflowers. So now moving towards the front, this is commonly known as globe thistle, Echinops. It is really quite spiny, so deer will certainly not touch it, nor will rabbits. It attracts a lot of pollinators. Bees love it. At the moment, they've not discovered where we've put this one, but it's also very drought resistant. It grows a taproot, which is another strategy for drought-tolerant plants to grow very deep roots. Moving on, I have a native bee balm here. This is spotted bee balm, Monarda punctata, and I just love it because, yes, it has the traditional Monarda-like flowers, but they're stacked on top of each other, and the sepals in between, which make it look like petals, are really pretty in that blush shade of pink. And the wonderful thing about that is that it segues into a beautiful contrast with this particular coneflower. Doesn't grow excessively tall. You could put it with Coneflower purpurea, the straight species, which would be up at the height of about the white phlox, and is also blooming at this time. And then lastly, our little selection here, which I just love because this we don't see very often, but it's known as perennial petunia, Ruellia humilis, and it's hardy to zone 5. This particular type of petunia perennial, it doesn't grow much taller than this. It just makes a little mound and keeps on blooming. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, it's a plant for you. Again, one established, it's pretty independent, self-sufficient, like many natives are. So these are my selections for sun, a mixture of natives and cultivars. Our garden centres have a wide range of perennials. I had to be very strict with myself to make sure that we didn't have too many here in this one video. If you are local to us in Massachusetts, we have 4 retail locations in Hopkinton, Chelmsford, Hingham and here in Lincoln. By all means come by, we'd love to see you. We're open 7 days a week. If you're not, please visit our website where we have farm-to-door shop option and it will be delivered directly to your home. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to see more like this. For Weston Nurseries, I'm Catherine Cooper. Maybe I will see you again in August.